So now we come to part 2. Now there's something in part 1 that I want to emphasize further this week before we move on to part 2. Now remember, do not forget that the Korean wave is about an export of culture. Not my words, not my ideas. The government openly tells you that. The Korean wave its purpose is to export Korean culture to the world. All right? And now this group of, one of the most famous boy bands, BTS, Bangtan Boys, all right? And now they said that we love our country, we are proud of our country so much, but in our generation we are spreading Korean culture as its representative. They tell you openly, we are a boy band, but our purpose is to spread Korean culture. All right? And he said, well, we are very proud of our parents' culture, our grandparents' generation, and they are very proud of us. Now, but I want you to notice one thing. Please know this. You may say, well, Korean culture, they are very conservative and all that. Is it true? Are they spreading their traditional culture, or are they changing their traditional culture to the point where actually the Korean culture is now defined by the Korean boy band wave culture? Which is which? Because now, by and large, you would say that it's a conservative culture. They are not for violence, for rebellion, that kind of thing, right? That's a Korean culture. You say our parents also, our grandparents. But is that what they are spreading? I just want to show you one video. The bottom right-hand video will show you a video of this band, all right? Taking things, smashing, breaking, taking bats, breaking windows, very aggressively pointing at people like a gun sign and all that. Now, let me ask you, is this something that is wholesome? You see, the whole Korean wave cell is, these are wholesome people, and then your guard comes down. And they're promoting Korean culture, which is conservative, then your guard comes down. But actually, on the other side, what they are showing and putting forth to you on videos is a very rebellious. Now, it was hip-hop video. Hip-hop is basically a music genre of rebellion. Now, the leader of the boy bands basically says, I am a hip-hop idol. People idolize me because I'm a hip-hopper. All right, and we know, when we started the series of music, now hip-hop, it is started as a genre of music. Now, because of young people suffering and all that. Now, at the end of the day, the three elements of hip-hop is graffiti art, damaging properties, break dancing, all right, DJ music. And it is a culture of rebellion. But now it is commercialized, put together. Now, in the past, people would still disdain hip-hop. But through this boy band movements and all that, it has changed. Now, people empathize with it. You have to know, a music which people have always characterized as rebelliousness against institution and authority, we studied this morning, is now something that people empathize and they accept. Now, the founder, by the way, you have to remember this. What I'm writing here are not my thoughts. I am collating, you see all the quotations at the bottom. I'm collating what the world says Korean wave is, not what pastor says Korean wave is. You must know that, all right? Please know I'm quoting them. So don't say, Pastor, you always say people are like that. But this is from quotations. Now the mastermind, the founder behind BTS, the person who started this whole band. Now he said, when they solidify as an idol group, I promised them that they will be able to pursue the music which they wanted. You see, when he started this boy band thing, what they wanted, they told the organizers, we are hip-hoppers. Now hip-hoppers is basically, the attitude is one of rebellion against culture. But yet they say, we love our culture, we promote our culture. No, they're changing a hip-hop culture into an acceptable culture, a culture of rebellion into acceptable culture. They wanted to do hip-hop. In fact, when he started this, many people who want to do hip-hop, they say, you want us to be promoted as this group? We are not interested. We want to do hip-hop music. So this founder said, well, they want to do hip-hop. We promise we will let them do it. Now, because it was hip-hop, they could express their thoughts. This is what it is. This whole Korean movement, Korean wave, is them expressing their thoughts to you. And we wouldn't want to touch that. BTS touched something that the young people all over the world were seeking. And since BTS debut, they've never suddenly switched gears or changed pace. They were consistent. So the founder said this. They were a bit worried, hip-hop, but they wanted to do it. And they said, let's not touch that. And they said, until today, their main idea is hip-hop, rebellion culture. Now, so please know that the music is not simply pop music. It's a culture of rebellion. Many of the music which I showed you. Now, next one. So we come to this week, which are far behind already. 3 things today. Fashion trend, idols, and fandoms, and then Q&A. You have to remember, K-Wave is not about music. Many think Korean wave, K-Wave, is just a pop music band group, that's all. No. We saw the videos, we saw the quotations. The president himself openly said, is to export culture. Now, then K-Wave is unlike other rock bands, other rock music movements, unlike any we have known. The important thing we have to realize is that they're not just exporting music, they're exporting fashion. Fashion. You must know that. You are not just listening to music, you are being imbibed with the fashion trend that they intend to promote, because the fashion makes makes money for the country. Now, look at the trends. Now, I am quoting, I am not judging them. I am quoting what the world sees them as. South Korea's most popular idols and celebrities for the inspiration are setting the biggest trend for men in Asia, if not the world. Now, this is news channels openly telling you they are setting trends, fashion trend, the hair trend. All right. So now, parents, you know why your children want certain hairstyle? Because this is something that is coming into their eyes, into their minds. This is the look. You may not be into K-Wave, but you don't even know that you have been influenced by the trends of the hair. You say, what's wrong with hair? All right? Be decent. But there are certain trends. Men with bangs. Please know, men with bangs, bangs, not gun bang. Bangs, all right? Long fringes and long hair. That's the aim. Well, K-pop women is coloring many tone hair, all right? Half dyeing hair. But one of the things that you will see, by the way, the one with the pink hair, is it a guy or a girl? You know the answer is a guy. All right, look at all the trend, the color. Now, this thing, biblical perspective of the hair trend. Now, it's always about this thick, long hair. And it is something that is to make people be sporting hair that is against God's will for men, especially. All right, so we want to be conformed. And even for the women following their hair, so many would now dye their hair pink. There is no human being born with pink hair. It's unnatural hair. All right, so God says, let it not be the adorning of let it not be the outward adorning and plaiting of hair and wearing of gold, putting on apparel. Now, God says, don't let the hair be an obsession. But the trend of hair is something that is very strong. Today, parents say, go cut your hair. They're very happy. I finally got it to look like my idol. Now, next generation, BTS, they are setting trends. Please know that. Now, the leader said, tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you are from, your skin color, your gender, your identity, speak yourself. So they encourage young people, speak up. Find your name, find your voice by speaking yourself. Now, they're not asking you to be Christian. They're asking you to be whatever you want to be. Express yourself through this fashion. Now, what are the expression of expressing themselves or yourself? Now, the fashion includes this kind of looks. Just to clarify, none of them there is a woman. You must know that. This is the fashion. If you begin to see your child wants to wear bow, your boy wants to wear bows, and your boy wants to, now that one you can't really see, lacy things. And look at the top right one. This is one of the most popular K-band boy band star. The girls and the boys, they are in love with him. Look like a man or a woman. That is the trend. Look at the bottom, all lacy stuff. All right? Now, not just there. They say express yourself. They're exporting a culture. Now, look at this. Male K-pop. Please know I am quoting magazines and write-ups about them. All right? They are talking about them, not me. Male K-pop idols who prove that skirts are for men too. We are not talking about Scotland. Please know that. All right? This is Korea, not Scottish men. Now, one of the fashion boundaries they've been pushing. So these are quotation from Sumpi, their write-ups. One of the fashion boundaries they're pushing in more recent years is that of gender. Gender. Idols have proved that fashion transcends gender by opting for androgynous looks or trying out gender-swapping trends. You look at the one in the purple skirt. This is a man. This is a guy. You look at them wearing skirts. This is what they're pushing. And people are now wearing that as part of a trend. They're exporting a trend. Does Korean culture agree with that? Well, the Korean culture that I know does not. But are they really promoting Korean culture? No, they are promoting a new culture. But anything that sells for the government. So biblical perspective. Now God makes it very clear in Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on women's garments, for all that do so are popular. No. Are to be followed. No. Are abomination unto the Lord thy God. Christians, they are exporting this to you. Are they acceptable? Trendy? No. Abominable to God. And God says in like manner, also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now many of them are immodest. Many of the girl bands, very immodest. Now next, the K-pop looks. Earrings is another thing. Right? Girl bands dress immodestly, boy band, bad boy, bad girl look. But on wholesome idols. So the promotion is always this. These are wholesome people. These are wholesome people. Come on, Pastor, they were invited to the UN meeting to give a speech. How can they be not good people? Yes. You see, the image is they are wholesome, but wholesome means now this. This is the look of wholesome. You see the deceptiveness of this, right? So we saw the girls, we saw the other one, the Blackpink, we saw her walking with this satanic picture on the back of her. Now these are the looks being exported. Please note, it is not just music. My main aim to help you understand young people. It is not a music movement. It's the exporting of trend. Now Korean culture, men and cosmetics. Again, I'm quoting. I'm not saying my judgment. I'm quoting people saying what the Korean wave is about. South Korean society known for its hyper-fixation on appearance. Now, constant pressure of being conformed to societal expectation. So when they set this trend, the people in the country will feel that they need to look like them. Now, men's beauty standards, no, it's called beauty, you know. It's no longer handsome, it's pretty and beauty. Beauty standards are similar to the woman now. So now it's all about makeup. So the cosmetic industry, many men and women have to do plastic surgery. In South Korea, the only country where top 10 countries with highest rate of cosmetic surgery. The obsession with looks. Korea, that is what it is. That is what it is. You follow the Korean music, you are actually taking in their obsession with looks. Now, using makeup is the solution for men to match beauty standards. So now, men putting on makeup. This group, you saw them. Putting on makeup is the norm. South Korea is a very competitive place. Now, if you look good and all that, and then you put makeup and then you look like that, your chances of being hired in a company goes up. Pastor said, no. Quoted from magazines. This is the culture. This is their culture. They will spread this to the world. K-pop's influence on men's makeup. Look, they're advertising makeup products. Men. It's a part of a South Korean culture. Now, these regular Korean men adopted this trend and started imitating the, know these words, soft masculine image. Now, I'm not saying that you must look like a gangster, rugged, right? But this is not look like a man. Look more like a woman. Now, new generations are part of a gender neutrality movement. You must know this. They want to push the limit of gender neutrality. They make it clear. Now, young men want to wear what they want to wear, what makeup they want to put on, and whatever sexual orientation, speak up. Find your name, speak up. Now, K-pop's masculinity. Now, this, look at the left side. That is 1991. This person called Yang Junil. All right, Yang Junil. Now, he looked feminine. Actually, look at this. Did he look feminine? Does he look feminine? Not that much to me, because I'm so used to the look. But in 1991, in his own country, he was ostracized because they say he looked too feminine. They didn't like it. But 3 decades later, today, now you compare the two. By the way, I have to clarify. The two bottom right are men. Okay? They are the boy band stars. They are men. 3 decades later, then they say, so this magazine openly say, it's almost unthinkable that Korean men like Yang would be treated with such vitriol. Means resistance and ostracizing. South Korea has since become epicenter of beauty, and K-pop men are now synonymous with cosmetics. Pastor said it. I want to emphasize again, not me. The world has followed the trend, the world analyzed the trend, and the world tells you this is what is happening. This is what is occurring to people. And they say this is the epicenter of beauty. This is the culture they are exporting, my friends. Parents, you need to be aware. Young people, you need to be conscious of it. Now, further. How K-pop has changed? Now, every decade has produced more. Now, they say beautified K-pop men. Now, in the past, it's unthinkable. Today, beauty is a requirement. In the past, you dress like that, resisted. Now, it's a requirement. Next, ideal Korean man was more on the feminine side. Has a slim figure and put on makeup. Please know again, I'm quoting Allure, how male K-pop stars change masculinity in South Korea. I'm quoting their analysis, and no one disagrees with it. So, now, ladies, if you begin to have an image in your mind, well, I want a husband that looks slim, puts on makeup, more feminine and soft. Where do you, over time, get that idea from? You say, Pastor, but I don't even listen to K-pop. You know, the exporting of the culture is so strong that more and more of what you see, because they idolize the K-poppers, they dress like that, they become like that, to the point where it's so common in society that even Christian girls look at it and say, oh, this is what looks good. It has changed. Now, I'm saying again, I don't know why sometimes you are so extreme. When I say that, then you will say, oh, are you saying that I must marry ugly-looking people and wear gunny sex? Come on, don't be like that, all right? We are not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you must marry people like that. What we are saying is that there is this effeminacy. That is what people now look for. That is what it has changed to. Men should dress like men. And men should dress properly, all right? Properly groomed. But it is not about making yourself looking softer. Now, makeup is not just for women now. They sell it. So they see, oh man, these my favorite pop stars sell cosmetics. I want to buy them. Now, next. Again, quoting from BBC News. All right, K-beauty. This is about the soft masculinity. It's about beautiful men. Heterosexual or non-heterosexual, it opens up possibilities for you to become more acceptable. Now, compared to 80s and 90s, well, the soft masculine look now is something that was also growing in Japan. The phenomena should be explained through the notion of hybrid versatile masculinity. So these are the words they use. The world is following this K-wave. They are not talking about music. They are so clear. There is a trend that K-wave is setting around the world that has not about their music. It's about now how you should look. And they will export this to the world, to Christians. Right? Korean dramas help to spread this. So no, K-wave is not just about music. The whole drama thing is also about the Korean wave, exporting their drama shows. So they openly say Korean waves help to spread this whole thinking of how men should look, how your boyfriend should look, how as a man you should look. Now the look is in demand. Now, K-pop redefines masculinity. They call it pretty boy now. They do call it handsome. It's pretty. They use a woman's word to describe a boy. Pretty boy. All right, long hair. Exposed neck, like wearing a low-cut dress, like women, right? And at the end of the day, it's okay for me to sing and dance and enjoy who I am. So to them, what they keep sending out to young people is, be who you are. Don't let people tell you, don't let institutions tell you what standards should be. That is the culture that they are exporting. This is a very anti-Christian, anti-God culture. We just studied this morning. The church is an institution with authority and put upon them by God. But this whole movement is part of this postmodern movement to resist. Don't let anyone tell you how you should dress. Now, the total look, the pretty look. Look at all this. Pretty boys. Now, I'm not saying that you should not be groomed, all right? I'm not saying that you should look shabby and all that. But what is behind is people want to look like these stars. They want to imitate a certain masculinity. By the way, all those are men. God created humans with gender distinction. God says, we read this morning. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he them. Full stop? No. Male and female created he them. God wants to emphasize there is a distinction. Genesis 5:2. Male and female created he them. Again, distinction. And he blessed them. Distinction of gender, or rather blurring of gender, is Satan's invention to go against God's creation agenda. Know that. Now, visual suggestions, homosexuality, relationships. So these are the kind of dramas, these are the kind of music videos they put out. Like on the left, suggestion of lesbianism. All right? So this is not me saying, these are basically what people put up on the internet to say, this is what the MTV music are, the music videos are, these are what the videos are. So that one on the top right hand corner is this girl see another boy in school. By the way, that is not a boy, that's a girl, all right, who looks like a boy. So the boy band dresses like women, the girl bands dresses like boys, all right, the dramas that is put out. For example, or the drama stars. Then she looked and she is admiring this girl who is standing there reading this book. They portray this to you. Again, anti-God examples. So they would perform on stage, one dressed like a man with trousers, with tie, sporting man-looking hairstyle, and the other one, and they stand side by side, right? Like a couple. So portraying, selling this idea to the world. Again, under the impression that they are wholesome, they're different from the rock bands in America. They are not. They are worse, in this sense. Now, God intends to maintain gender distinction. Now, God says, no, ye not. I said, be not deceivers, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind will inherit the kingdom of God. Effeminate, God calls out this. This is an end time thing, effeminacy. Now parents, please dress your children properly. You may get so used to it that you begin to dress your boy like a girl without realizing. You begin to think, this is the look now. This is not the look now. This is not how God wants your child to look. Or the boy, yeah, I want a boy, but how come God gave me a girl? And then you keep dressing it like a boy, cutting the hair like a boy. Now God says, please do not don't blur the distinction. And God says one of the things that God hates, and God says don't be deceived, is effeminacy. Satan knows this verse. God says that I will make sure the world is not like that. I will make sure that Christians is not like that. They will be effeminate. He wants to be the God that tells you his idea of what you should be against God. Now God says the woman shall not, we read this earlier on, right? For all that do so, the woman that dress like a man, the man that dress like a woman, put on women's garment. I say again, I know some of you say, but the Scottish people wear skirt. We are not talking about the Scottish people, all right? The trend is to change you. Biblical perspective of K-pop is an anti-biblical culture of the world. Please know that. That is what they're exporting, not just music. Through the music, through the Dharma, through those things, you will take in their dressing, their selling to you of the looks, which are anti-biblical. Now next, promotes love of the ways of the world. Entices you to embrace them, to conform to them. Dress, make your hair like them. It is stylish. It is part of the in crowd. Now why do many of your children, teens, why do you want to dress like that, look like that? If you're honest, you know. Because many of them are like that. They look like these stars. Your school friends admire them, and when they look like that, they get a lot of attention. So I want to be like that as well. That is how it works. That's exactly how it works. Young people aspire to look like K-pop stars. Boys and girls imitate K-pop looks. Seeks relationship based on looks, K-pop looks. Know that today many girls want boyfriends that look like that. Look so square. Look effeminate, look soft, look like so-and-so in the group. I hope that he likes me. That's how they portray their videos. Right? We are called to not conform to this world. Now, next one. Idols and fandom. This is the next part. Idols and fandom. Now, another thing about K-Wave that you must come to realize is there is behind the scene a very big organization, a very well-oiled, efficient system. It's not just about music. A system that promotes fan idolizing these people. Don't believe me? First and foremost, the BTS leader, one of the most famous group, he says, I'm a hip-hop idol. He knows what people idolize him as, a hip-hop leader, and he will not change that. He changed that, he will no longer be their idol. A rebellious culture. Now, in the start, when Bang Si-hyuk, founder of the Big Hit, the mastermind behind this big boy band, now he said, I considered putting together a hip-hop group, not an idol group. But then when I considered the business context, it's a business thing, exporting of culture, I thought a K-pop idol model makes more sense. You see, even when he started this group, he said the world likes hip-hop. Let's try and promote and package hip-hop to spread to the world. But he realized one thing, the business model will not work as well as making them idols. Once they are idols, whatever music they put forth, they will have followers, means lots of money, right? Whatever they sell, people will buy. It is about fan engagement. Now, know this, K-pop's band, they engage fully with their fans. This is not like it's not like the Beatles. It's not like famous rock bands, famous pop singer. No, there is a system behind that helps them, enables them. And one of the key focus is to engage fans in a very personal way, whether it's by addressing them directly or through interviews, replying a tweet. And they always thank their fans. They make their fans feel very special. They make their fans feel like you are successful because of me. They acknowledge them all the time. I'm making quotations. I'm not saying this myself. It's not my analysis. So they know what makes this K-Wave boy band successful. Fan engagement. The world knows that. Business model knows that. And they say, well, they make them feel very important. And fandom engagement. Now, ARMY. Who have heard ARMY? All right. This is boy bands, BTS bands Fandom, like kingdom. This is their fandom. So their fandom is this group called Army. Army stands for Adorable Representative MCs for Youth. It's a global brigade. So they have their own fandom called Army. Now think about this, 29 million tweets, 29 million Twitter followers, 30 million Instagram followers, 40 million members of Army subscribe to BTS YouTube channel. You think it is about music? No. What are they subscribing to? There are these close, intimate daily lives that they show their fans and their fans follow. The bond between BTS and the Army is different from a typical singer fan. Not like anything we have known in the world. There's this close connection. All right? Now, BTS driving commitment is to their relationship with the fan group. It is to manufacturing of the communal joy for you to participate in. So it's really, they understand. It is not just about music. You become part of my life. And the thing is this, they're very successful. The Koreans are very successful in marketing in a way where it is like as if it's personal. Very personal. So different groups, different fandom, no time to explain that. Now, they use direct to consumer relationship. They use digital platforms. They have sophisticated applications dedicated to create this closeness with you. Users can exchange messages with artists anytime. So imagine, it's a system that they very cleverly set up. So different online. So you have Reverse, all right, a unit of BTS. You have Dear You Company, all right. They have different platforms. All right, I guess the equivalent is like maybe Google, or Twitter or something. They have a different platform for different groups. Now, but through these platforms, they invite fans to join their offstage live via video almost daily. So you're watching your key star. You watch their daily lives from the moment they wake up, they do things, and then once in a while they look in the camera and they talk to you, and they are so good at making all these platforms make it look very personal. Although it can be one reply, but it looks very personal. All right, so now our goal is to try to show ourselves, expose ourselves. They openly say, we want you to really know our lives. Very powerful. No group ever thought of that. So for example, Bubble, it looks like a one-to-one app. Like you're personally talking to him, but you're not. All right? So you get the message. Lots of personal, private messaging that goes on. It's a false intimacy. They know their success of making you follow them, of making you buy the products, of you taking on their culture is as if you are really, the person is your family. False intimacy. All right? Now, so closeness is formed. So you see, for example, brushing teeth, you just follow everything. Now, when I was reading some of this, Christians' confessions about Christian girls who were into this boy band thing, they confess, they say, we are so frustrated. One girl confessed how she managed to break away from this because she said, the moment I wake up, the first thing I want to know is log on to the platform and watch what they do. And he said, every time I reach home from school, I can't wait to watch their video again and then send them tweet and then they reply to me. Now this is like really living with a husband. There is the kind of close intimacy Korean Wave managed to put forth that no other music movement, pop movement have ever been able to achieve. Many of the girls write to this girl who managed to overcome and say, can you please give me your private contact? I am desperate. I need help. They have become an idol to me. I can't get out of this. It's an obsession. Day and night, I just think of them. And I know that they have become my idol. Please help me to get out of this. You see the power of how this draw you into their lives. Girls, boys, don't get curious. The aim of this is not to make you get curious. The aim of this is to make you know and fear and know that let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. Don't even be curious and go and watch it. Because many of the Christian girls and boys, they are so addicted, they are begging for people to help them. And the sad thing is, I go to my pastor say, oh, it's okay, it's just music. The pastors themselves have no idea at all. And they go away frustrated when in their heart they knew, this is not okay. I am a congregation member, I know this is not okay. They do not know who can help them. So footage of this person working out, going to the gym, send hearts into tailspin. Now these are quotation of music magazines, not my assessment. Fandom bonding. All right, they like to make this sign. Do you do it? I never knew where it came from. Now, one time someone kept doing this in the photograph. Then I talked to someone, why is this person showing the Buddha sign? I don't know why, because Buddha always do something with his hand, right? So is it Buddha? Why is this Christian keep showing a Buddha sign? Then this person said, no, Pastor, that's not a Buddha sign. You see how important it is for pastors to study? We learned this morning. They said, this is the sign of a heart. You look at that, the sign of a heart. This is now the sign. Then I went back and did some research. Now I understand. Many Christians on their Facebook do this. Now this is the sign of, I am quoting to you, I am not making a judgment. What is EliteDaily.com saying? The boys regularly make the unique finger heart symbol, a quick way for BTS to show army they are thinking of them. This is the sign they use to show they are thinking of them. Please, as Christians, let us not follow these signs. You want to tell someone you love them, just tell them you love them. Just tell them you love. Don't have to adopt this that they are exporting. You are helping them to propagate what it is. Actually, I saw some relatives doing that. I'm going to go home and write to them now. Please don't propagate this. This is their way to express their love. All right? You know this is a boy, right? Now next, fandom bonding. So they openly make themselves awkward, silly, making them very real. And many girls watch them and they bond with them and they begin to imagine this man as their ultimate fantasy of what a boyfriend or husband should be. Right? Silly. Girls, if you think that men acting very silly, now I know where it comes from. I begin to wonder why do girls today, even during my time, get attracted to men that act very silly, that kind of things. But then it's so cute. The boy is so cute. So seriously, because this has been there for some time. All right. So that is now your picture of. You don't think about godly traits anymore. You think, are they like that or not? Empty vanity. What does God say? This I say therefore and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk no more as other Gentiles do. These are Gentiles. Don't walk like them anymore. In the vanity of their mind. It's just vain things. Get up, brush my teeth, I fell down, then like that, do this kind of thing. They say, these are just vain babblings. And they follow and they say, oh, so cute. When they make certain signs, their heart melt. Now God says people of the Gentiles will be like that. What their understanding is darkened, alienated from the life of God through ignorance because of the blindness of their heart. The Christian ought not to be blind. All right? Vain and profane babblings, just nonsensical things, increase unto ungodliness. Now, and God says, hold your body in sanctification and honor, not in lust of concupiscence, sexual lust. Hold your body in sanctification and honor, godly behaviors, godliness. All right. Evil communications corrupt good manners. Evil communications means ungodly friendships. They communicate to you all the time. God says these are evil communications, promoting a certain effeminacy, certain look, certain foolishness, certain desire of beauty, of engagement with the world and all that. They communicate that to you. It will corrupt good manners. It will affect your Christian walk. Don't think it is innocuous and innocent. Right? Promotes more promiscuity. Today, this month, I'm in love with this BTS star. Next week, I'm in love with this one. Next week, I'm in love with this one. We studied about promiscuity of other emotions, right? So this is what it is. Now, keep your heart for your husband. Keep your heart for your wife. That comes in time. So dangers of fandom, God says. We know as Christians, it creates a desire to seek unbiblical relationship. More and more boys and girls are seeking boyfriends and girlfriends that are very related to this whole look, culture, desire. All right? This is what it is. Now, they will not be interested in the boring Christian man that talks about God, that is serious about their life, that is not interested in this kind of, that is not interested in putting on self-grooming to look good, that kind of thing. Remember, to them, hair is a big thing. I am not saying don't comb your hair. I'm not saying don't put your hair in proper order when you come to church. All right? So I want to make clear that. Now, is K-pop your idol? God says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. New Testament, little children, keep yourself from idols. The Word of God is very clear. But K-Wave, they openly tell you, we have set up a very complex, multi-million-dollar system to promote idol worship. They openly tell you that. They know that you want it. Now, we get angry when God says they are idols. Do you? Do you get angry? Idols are not just graven images. You must know that. Can be people. Can be culture. Now, we're saying you don't eat Korean food. I constantly have to say this kind of thing. If not, I will get an email. So, Pastor say everything Korean bad, is it? I do not say that, all right? Please don't take things to the extreme. I'm not saying you cannot eat Korean food. You cannot buy Korean product. I'm not saying that at all. But you must know when you eat, when you buy. Now, these people, you saw the India video, right? The Indian girls dressed in Korean cultural garb go to Korean, just to eat Korean food. And they tell you why. Because they see their idols at home doing that, they want to be like them. This is idols, all right? This is not just about just liking kimchi. Understand that. Now, next one. Well, why is an idol? We learned some example. Talk about, thirst after, treasure more than God. This is what they're telling you. This is what Christians are getting in, and this is what they're telling you. That's what we're trying to promote. Now, K-pop's danger. Clean cut, wholesome. Some of their videos, some of their pictures. But at the end of the day, promote to you a carnal culture. Idea of a loose relationship with them. Indecency, blurring of gender lines, just to summarize. Q&A, all right? We are behind time. Just give me, hopefully I can cover this in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Q&A. Can I still, and these are some of the things that people come across and they think and they ask, can I still listen to K-pop just for the catchy music? Since I don't understand Korean, I don't know what the lyrics mean, so it doesn't matter what they're singing about. Very common question. Now, Christians in the first place should not enjoy this kind of music. We studied about music. If you don't know, go look at the video. Certain genres of music, you know where they come from. They are distorted music of what God invented. They are music, but they are distorted by Satan to create certain genre of music for the world. Christians should not be involved in that music. Now, next. Corinthians say, what is it then? I will pray with the Spirit, I will pray with understanding, I will sing with the Spirit, I will sing with the understanding also. The Christian who sings anything, you must have an understanding. If you don't have an understanding of what it is, don't sing it. For all you know, you're singing something obscene, just because the catchy music. So God says, you must know what you're singing, because you may be singing something that you should not be singing about. All right, so are the verses you know. Now, but God says in Matthew 12:36, but I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. For the Christian likewise. Don't think that I'm just singing certain things. If you sing their culture, you sing their values, the hip-hop, things that they put together, you are going to be held accountable. All right, don't use the tongue for that. So remember, K-pop is more than just music. It's a culture value that is being promoted through their music. They say, I just like to imitate the dance move. They are challenging, they are stylish. They're also a good form of exercise. Right? Some parents say that. There's nothing. You see, all these K-pop, they move. It's good exercise for them. Actually, even for me, when I go to the gym, they teach some of this move. I find that the more challenging it is, the better, because it challenges my mind. What does the Word of God say? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? How you move it, how you use it. Now, many of these movements, they are actually very sensual, very indecent. Right? You're bought with a price. Glorify God in your body. We are not to move like them. Sometimes you see children in the malls They move. So the other day I was seeing one, looking at one, where the mother was praying, he was doing all these moves. Your child, you promise to bring up your child in the ways of God. Don't let them pick up these things. Can I listen to more conservative groups? The good songs that don't do, good songs that don't do hip-hop? Back to the same question, the same point. These are worldly genres. They are not putting out classical music. All right, classical music, as we studied, now this follows a certain form. God invented, created certain forms, but they will distort the forms. You know how they distort? We studied that. Now, please don't think these are not so bad. So let me listen. 1 Corinthians 10:12. Wherefore let him that taketh his standard take heed lest he fall. The desire for a stronger form will set on to you. That is what it is. Now you listen to the less, it will not be enough. James 3:12. Out of the same mouth produce, how can it proceed blessings and cursings? What you sing, their words, you should not sing their songs. What's wrong with men using cosmetics? Taking care of their skin, wanting to look good. What's wrong? Now if you say cosmetic means, for example, you get a pimple, all right, and it's blossoming, pus and everything. You need to put something on it to prevent it from looking bloody and all that and distract people. Oh, that's different. But this is, I want to have a certain look. This glossy, this radiant, this whitening. I'm applying this to whiten to make myself look like them. Now that is the problem. Understand that. I'm not saying don't wash your face. Oh, I cannot use any cosmetic. Wife, this is cosmetic for washing face. From now onwards, I'm not going to wash my face. You're just lazy, all right? Cosmetics are to enhance beauty. That is their point. It's an enhancement to look beautiful. We are supposed to maintain body cleanliness. All right? We are supposed to maintain proper maintenance of our looks. Sometimes I have to tell the boys, please, comb your hair. Please, after you finish your meal, all right, clean your mouth. Food sticking out everywhere, me included. Right? We're not talking about that kind of things. Now, culture importation to be focused on externals. The point is focus on externals. Focus on external. What does God say about externals? Favor is deceitful, beauty is vain. God says, don't look at the outside. Don't aim for the outsides. But the woman that feareth the Lord, the inside, shall be praised. All right? So, girls, don't imitate their hair, their looks, their makeup, their dressing. God says it's all deceitful. All right? Those that are highly esteemed among men, abomination in the sight of God. The world highly esteems this, I know. But God says it's abomination in His sight. Many of these things. What's wrong to hope for a boyfriend or girlfriend that are well-groomed? The key word is like K-pop idols. You should not say that, it is wrong then. I should look for the one that doesn't comb the hair, doesn't wash his face, has bad breath, doesn't groom himself, come to church in clothes that are unironed. Oh, this is a sign of godliness. No, all right? You're not saying that at all. But now the point is this. They're attracted to beauty. They're attracted to the looks. That is the point. Now what does God say? Lust not after her beauty. God says, don't lust after beauty. What does God say? They say the Pharisees, outside they're whited sepulchres, but what is inside? Dead bones. It's not the outside. Now furthermore, God tells us, remember Absalom. Absalom was one who much praised for his, God used the word beauty. Much praise for his beauty. Now then said the sole of his foot and all that. Now he pulled his hair, for it was every year that he pulled it, because the hair on him was heavy. Therefore he pulled it. So every year, he will go in public and weigh his hair. And you will go, wow, so much hair. Wow, so beautiful. God wrote this to say, even back then, they were K-wave wannabes. Even back then. All right? God wrote this to shame him. The obsession with the hair, the looks and all that. That was what he was focused on. Now, but the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on the countenance or the height of his stature. Because I refused him, the Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Don't get into a culture that is focused on the external. I want to say this again. We're not saying that you should not buy proper clothes, dress properly, presentably. But that should not be your focus. All right? Dress not to distract. That's the main thing. Bad dressing distracts. Okay? Now, what is wrong to hope for a boyfriend, a girlfriend? Okay, continue, right? God says, seek godliness. God says, jewel of gold in a swine's snout. So it's a fair woman which is without discretion. Boys, if you look, wow, this one look like the K-pop star girl. But God says, without discretion, it's like a swine. Now, favor is deceitful, beauty is vain. We read that. The fashion of the world perisheth. James, all is as flesh. Don't look for the externals. Why am I saying this again and again? Because the K-wave aim is to export the culture of obsession, a concentration on the externals. And much of the externals is about looking like a woman. What's wrong? Falling into the deception of looks-oriented culture. Romance. You look for a boyfriend and girlfriend based on that. K-pop and other culture, other pop culture, world's culture, this is what it is. All right? Then he said, well, I don't idolize them like God. I just find them fun to watch. They are so normal and so likable. All right? But God says, adulterers and adulterers of the world. Friendship of the world is enmity with God. You want to build this friendship with them. They may not know you, but I like them. But God says, well, with this kind of people is friendship of the world. All right? There's nothing godly about them. Now, if you find yourself very attracted to them, you must acknowledge there is something wrong with me. I've become to like this kind of things rather than godly things. So, in closing, it's a youth culture of grooming the K-wave culture and values of the future generation of adults as well. You will become more and more like that. That is what it is. And we studied this morning. The deception is to attack the future generation. All right? Now, so it will affect the culture, will affect the church and nurturing of godly seed. Now God says, these are they which will creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins away with their diverse lusts. The whole platform they use to get into your home, your tweets, you're watching them, you're following them. This takes on a new meaning in scriptures. In the past, they literally have to go to your house. Now they are in your house through the electronic means. Now God says you cannot serve two masters. Many of these girls, you read, and my heart goes out for them. They are desperate. It's no different from being addicted to marijuana. That is how they are feeling. They are held captive. And you end up being useless to God. All right? Now, God says, come out from among them. Come out of this movement. Touch not their unclean things. If you're secretly following them. Now, God warns you, don't touch. Not the pastor wants you. The Bible says that. Touch not their unclean thing. Fear the Lord. Don't despise instruction. We learned what instruction is this morning. End of slide. Very late. Now I hope that parents, you get an understanding what K-Wave is. It's not just music. Young people, if you have a secret liking for it and you've been following it, know the dangers. Let us pray. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts. What church dropouts say. Why they stop attending church. Now please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view. They are the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from